We're ultimately looking for the #1 design innovation for the season.
Design, I think, is most powerful when it can address some of society's most crucial issues, particularly how girls understand their sexuality and contraception is one of the most important problems.
Hello Options is an innovative tool because it shows young adults they can touch, feel, and see what their choices are.
It's about time. That's what I was going to say. It's about time. Contraception. I remember back in 7th grade, my science teacher, Mr. Margiotta, nervously handing out a flimsy brochure like this, which was my sole education on contraception. Well, here at the University of Chicago, they're trying to design a different experience. Dr. Gilliam, I suspect that my experience is not that unusual.
It really isn't. There's a lot of misinformation and misconceptions about contraception. The clinical visit is still really important, and young people come in not knowing a whole lot.
And that particular time in their lives, it's so critical to get the right type of education and the right type of health care. It can impact the rest of their lives.
That's exactly right. It's one of the reasons that we wanted to start to address this issue. You know, you have about 15 minutes in the clinic.
So that 15 minutes is really precious.
Absolutely. You do not want a patient to feel like they're not understood. You don't want them to feel like they've been coerced.
So you're really trying to make things better.
Absolutely. You want to empower the young person, but also build a sense of trust.
Amanda, how in the world do we redesign adolescent sexual health care?
Well, it might come as a surprise. We worked with young people.
Imagine that.
We recruited young people from Chicago South Side to work with us over the summer. They did their own design research. They went into a mobile health unit, really tried to understand what was and wasn't working in a clinical experience. They analyzed their data, and they came up with a range of concepts to really speak to the kinds of care that they want.
So not like that.
No, we need to get beyond words. So young people did their own research, right? So they went into the field and they tried to understand what was working and not working. One of the teams noticed they were introduced to a method during their counseling experience, and they were like, what is this? So when they were analyzing their data, they wanted to understand, like, what are all the methods? What do they do? How do they work? And why aren't we seeing them? And so they really wanted to understand this. And so they had a chance to generate a bunch of ideas, and in their workshop, they built a tool because they wanted to have young people have the experience of understanding what the stuff was, because they were just like so inspired and they wanted everybody to know. And they wanted to see them without hierarchy. They wanted to know what they look like, what they feel like, their size, and how they work.
This isn't the final prototype, is it?
No, it's not. We went from here to here. And so we worked with all sorts of designers, industrial designers, brand designers, service designers, to really understand how this tool needed to work. And so, for instance, we thought about the overall form factor. How do we display all of the methods? And we paid a lot of attention to the look and feel. So for instance, with the implant, it's made to feel like how the implant would feel under your skin. How big is an IUD? Oh my gosh, it's so small and it's so flexible. Now I understand how that works. This tool is busting myths because people don't know how small an IUD is or how flexible it is. So a lot of thought was really given to making sure that this really helps young people understand how methods work.
Amanda, how do healthcare providers feel about this?
Healthcare providers actually helped us design this, and so it needs to fit into their lives and into their pockets. Additionally, it can also hang on a hook in their office. So we know that if it doesn't work this way, then it's not going to make it into clinic.
Angel, tell me about your role on the design team.
Well, Debbie, I actually help them test out their products while also giving them intensive feedback so that they can know how people like me who are adolescents know what we want, but also help healthcare professionals know how to use it in a real setting.
Who would your ideal healthcare practitioner be like?
Well, I would have to say it's a mix between Michelle Obama, Beyonce, and one of my favorite authors, Sharon Draper.
Who would have thought there were this many options for birth control? When I was in 7th grade science class, all Mr. Margiotta taught us was about birds and bees. Angel, did you find this helpful?
Actually, I thought it was extremely helpful to know I had so many options to choose from. In case I don't like one, I can always use something else instead.
Dr. Gilliam, is this a game changer?
You know, it is. I actually would not go to clinic without this tool.
Did Dr. Gilliam meet your expectations of the ideal doctor?
Most definitely, of course. You know, she has that mix of Beyonce, you know, inspirational, a powerhouse. She holds her ground. You know, she has that Michelle Obama little razzle dazzle to it. She helps with youth and teens, and you know she's an advocate for them. But also, like my favorite author, Sharon Draper, she knows a lot about her youth, and also when it comes to trauma or anything that they're going through, she'll be easy to talk to.
I think she rocks.
Most definitely, you know.
Hello Options is a forward-thinking design that reflects the vision of creative young people. It will revolutionize the birth control counseling experience for everybody.